flip sides to the defensive side of the football where, I mean, things have been going pretty great. Probably the engine of the team since Marcus Freeman has been at head coach, but also Al Golden's been doing his damn thing each and every year, continuing to get that defense better, continuing to produce some of this talent that we're seeing with Benjamin Morrison and Xavier Watts, award winners. What's the outlook on our defense for going into the season?
I had a chance to
go ahead.
Go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, for me, it starts to that defensive tackles.
We need a big one. We need a big, ugly Irish chocolate to it. We need something. We need something like that. I think we still need it.
Well, again, I think they got some big enough, because again, you look at offenses today. It's more about speed and getting down the field. But again, 6'1", 280, and I don't put a lot of stock in these like numbers of like this kid is only 288, 290. Especially like I said, the graduate guys. Botello,
he should be taking over. And like sack production should be at an all-time high this year.
RJO, I'm really looking forward to seeing him because again, I saw how he got after Notre Dame. He's a presence. He's a presence again, and I think that's where the difference is. And for me, that this defensive line, especially with the depth, you can rotate guys in. They're interchangeable, and they're again, a lot of graduates, assists, a lot of leadership, a lot of veteran guys that, hey, will get after it, make some plays. And you got some young guys that you can sprinkle in that, the fact that Bryce Young doesn't have to come in and be all world.
Right.
He can learn.
Right.
He can develop.
Yep.
When Rubio gets back, but you have some, he's a good sized kid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jason,
we gotta find that dog in the group though. You look at.
I got him, Leak. I got him, Leak. I got him, but he's not a D lineman. My man Kingston at linebacker is a straight.
I was just about to go to line. That's where. Again. Look, we just need the defensive line to occupy.
Yes,
you said occupy.
Yes. Hey, just get that extension, dog. Just get that extension, man.
We just need the D line to occupy and not allow those guards and tackles to get up on that next level.
Yes, y'all killing me, Smalls. Y'all talking about occupy. What about sack production? Y'all sound like Marcus Freeman saying sacks aren't important.
I'm always going to start with the physicality of the game, and that's for me. That's the run game. And I know, Lee, like I said, you quarterback. You're going to. I ain't got a problem with that. But I'm just saying, it makes a big difference when your linebackers can run free, because that's where you're going to get, you're going to get some sacks, because this is a really good pass rush.
Pressure team. Yeah, pressure team.
But the linebackers are the key to that. Well, I'll say this. The D-line is the key in terms of not allowing those guys to get up to the next level. And if they can force a double team, that's going to create opportunities. Because Kingston, I'm looking forward to seeing that kid. But I look at Jack Kaiser. That kid, I like how he rushes the passer. He does a great job of finding those lanes. He knows how to get in there, get skinny, and come off of the defenders and fill those gaps and get in there. His rush game is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
His rush game is nice.
Right, man.
But that linebacker group's core is the young linebackers. The
exactly. And his speed.
Raspberries.
Yeah, because they but Jack Kaiser is the key. Jack Kaiser is the key from the standpoint of he gets those guys lined up.
For sure.
So they can go out and just run around and be athletic, like the Sneeds. This linebacking crew, they're what? Drake Bolton. I mean, they got some.
If you add all their ages up, they're still younger than.
Yes, man. But that speed is gonna be clutch.
Hey, look here. I'm going on record right now. My man Kingston will not play 4 years in Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. You go. Oh, he's 3 and done.
Look, I'm telling you right now. I got some intel on him. I've heard a coach on this staff say he is the best linebacker he's ever seen.
Oh my goodness! Hold on now.
Okay.
Hold on now.
That's high praise coming from a friend. I'm just saying.
Well, and we have to talk more. He's high on this kid too, but they were talking about we don't our linebackers, we don't have like the starting guy. They have pods.
Right.
So they send them at you in waves. And they just keep coming. And they said this Kingston, I've heard some stuff about this kid too. I'm like, dang, okay. I mean, it's like you hear about it, you keep hearing. It's like, and again, I'm sorry, I don't trust Fresh.
They say he's flying around.
Yeah, he's making plays. But I struggle with the freshman piece because I just don't trust freshmen.
Yeah, if you don't stop, we all play this freshman.
It's not personal. It's not personal.
Yeah, it's a freshman game these days.
Look, freshmen usually in today's game, freshmen aren't like we were. They're not 17, 18 years old. 20, double holdbacks coming out. Early rollies, like we're not talking about a guy that just getting used to the weight room. These dudes coming in grown ass men, like these guys got child support, man. Like these dudes is ready to go. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they're not showing up. Oh gosh, I'm at Notre Dame. They like where the ball carrier at? Yeah, like they're ready to get after it. It's a different. Their mindset is so different in how they approach things. We had a ramp up period, Reggie. Yeah, at least I did. Like
we didn't get to come in until August. These cats in there in January now.
Yeah, man.
And that's man, whoo.
Can you imagine?
They acclimate because again, like you when you're at Notre Dame, you gotta go to class.
Yes.
So to be able to develop that time management is clutch.
Yep. 100%.
But to your point, you're talking about it's a passing game, but this secondary
might be the strength of the team.
Yeah, and again, you look at like I said, that linebacking course pretty young. The D line is a veteran D line, but you have some veteran guys on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
You got veteran guys on the back end that understand the game. And man, I still remember last year when Ben Morrison all but locked up Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh, yeah,
I mean,
what do you have? 2 catches? 3 catches, something like that.
Yeah, and that was I hadn't seen anybody do that.
Nope.
And again, like immediately after. So, and again, you look at how it helps open things up for the safeties and their ability to run around and make plays. Xavier Watt, he can make, do some things.
Yeah,
he can make some things happen because he has some guys that can shut down on a shutdown corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You look at the talent on that side of the ball. I mean, this defense, I'm excited to see them get after it because again, this is also year 3 for Al Golden and his defense.
Yeah. Do you still see it as a defensive-led Notre Dame team, or is it a changing of guard this year with offense coming in more robust, some new fancy
not yet
attachments?
I don't think it's happened yet because that defense, you look at the spring game, they still getting out there behind. Yeah. They still getting out there behind. They were like, no, but this is the beauty of it. It's like you look how the defense being as good as it is, it's made the offense stronger and sped up their timetable in terms of becoming better. Because again, 100%. The thing about with football, you actually have to play it and practice and be good at it to develop the skills. Because again, I was talking to Irv was like, when you get hit, your body acclimates to that. You talk about guys that sit out, and with CD Lamb, he's coming back, but you're always concerned about soft tissue injuries because your body hasn't had a time to acclimate to the contact.
Right.
And I always look at guys, what happens after the first hit. That actually set the tempo in my mind for me mentally how the game was going to go.
Yes, sir.
So I had to prepare myself mentally based on that first hit. But you got to take some hits to get to that point. And this is what I love about this defense. They've gotten better tackling, which has been a real problem for me. In
open field tackling.
Yeah, that was the real issue I was having with Notre Dame. Is like, and then Marcus said, "Hey, we have to practice physical." You can have some injuries, but you got to have enough confidence to say, "Hey, if we don't practice, we're gonna have more injuries in the game than we have."
Yeah, straight up.
Because again, if their first time hitting is in the game,
right?
You get hit. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep preaching this. It's something different when somebody punch you in the mouth. What you gonna do? It's like, hey, I've had guys that said, we played Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State.
Penn State. Golly, that hurt my neck. That hurt my neck when you said Penn State, bro.
You're gonna make a choice. Like, well, I don't know if I want to do. I'm in with this story, and that kind of dictates it. My rookie year, we're playing the Jets. That's why you don't be halfway in, halfway out. All practice long, Don Bro is on my head about stepping out of bounds and not getting the first down.
You're not getting that extra couple yards.
Yeah. So it's
those are business decisions, man. Those are business.
Second 8, I jump out, boom, jump outside, and I'm about 2 yards from first down. And I look over, and all I hear is Don Bro in my ear, like, dang, let me go get some. And I didn't put the full on in there. Ronnie Lott. You cannot be halfway.
That's all you gotta say, dog.
You slow up if you want to.
Yeah, I was like, should I step out? And then I did one of these and kind of. Man, this man wiped me off the planet, dang.
Yeah, took you all the way off.
I was over literally dang near under the bench on the opposing team. I just laid there for a minute.
Dude, you were shocked.
Yeah, I took that hit because I didn't prepare for it.
Yeah,
and it
didn't think he was gonna hit you like that.
It shocked. Well, no, I knew what he was capable of doing.
Yeah, for sure.
But it literally shocked my body into just. I was stunned, like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. That was like one of those life-changing hits. Like, I may need to find another profession.
Like, what am I doing right now?
Yeah, why am I out here? Why am I out here? And again, it was in my there was not really a pain as it was like my body was just yelling and screaming, and I just couldn't move. I just laid there until the trainer got over there, and I just laid there, and he was like, you all right? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You couldn't really name what hurt specifically.
Exactly.
It
was just like everything was just. I was confused. He hit me into confusion.
Yeah, I'm just yeah.
So
just help me get up. I don't know. Just help me get up. I don't know what.
Yeah. What took place. I had to just like, give me a minute. I'm gonna get up, but I just need a minute to process this. but like I said, but when you're playing this game, those hits are you got to be prepared for that. You can't just like think about hitting.
Right.
You have to prepare your mind and also prepare your body because some of them it's like
bad intentions.
Yes.
You think
they trying to end your day, man, for real.
So what's the outlook? I mean, it sounds like we believe that as talented and as the depth that we have offensively and defense, we can make a pretty strong run. What's the floor? What is the least Marcus Freeman can put out with this team that would say, okay, it's still a good season? Because in my mind, the way we're built, the schedule that we have, the years in the program that we've been doing, the recruiting, we're easily 11, 12 win regular season team. What do you guys think? Is there a floor for maybe we can have a 9?
I'm not a big fan of predictions and I'm a realist, but just looking at the schedule, if we're not undefeated, I just
find it hard not to be, right? I find it hard not to be.
I have a real problem. If we're not undefeated, I have a real problem.
It's a problem, yes. Okay,
something,
good.
You know, because again, you're getting Texas A&M early enough in the season
where they ain't really figured out themselves.
Because you're right, they haven't gotten where. Because again, like what's name left that program in not the greatest shape. So
man, didn't he do some? Jumbo did some work.
Jumbo Fisher didn't get. So you get them out, and again, that's why I say you can get to them early because A&M is going to be a problem for some people down the line. And
shout out Jerron, by the way, Jerron Jones, the one and only Megatron.
What's up, JJ?
What up, boy?
How y'all doing, man?
We doing great, man.
The Iris fam back together again, getting ready for a beautiful fall.
You already know.
That's right. Hey, you coaching too, huh?
To our storied history.
You coaching a little bit of high school football too, isn't it?
Yes, I am actually. I'm actually about to be back in my alma mater.
Oh hell yeah! See, that's the goal. Yeah, Rochester.
That's what's up, man.
I would like to get Jerron's take on the D line because again, this man knows.
The D line is probably one of the most stout units it's been in years.
Well, we have a lot of depth, but we need
a lot of depth.
We have no sacks. Where the sack stat?
Why is he always on the sack thing?
Because he's a quarterback, dog. He's a quarterback. He's traumatized.
Listen, I understand what he means because again, sacks do matter, but we have guys that can do it all. Like we don't just got pass rushers. Everybody thinks that you just need pass rushers to fill out a good D line. We got guys that can do it all. We got guys that can do both. We got guys that are really adept at getting penetration off the ball. So I just think they're going to really just set the tone for our defensive front all season. All season long.
And Drew, I'll tell you, if you can, well, Malik, you know this, if you get pressure up front and they collapse the pocket, even if they're not getting the sack, that makes a world of difference in terms of like what quarterback can do.
If you're affecting the quarterback, you're affecting the quarterback where it's harder for him to make that target completion.
Yep.
Then you did your job.
100%. Lefty, you know, like if pressure's coming up the gut or there's the pockets collapsing, like Reggie said, and you're not on your spot to where you want to deliver that ball, like that's a win. And you know, and to your point, if you're saying our secondary is the strength of the defense, and that thing ain't on time and it ain't accurate, hey, we going out the way.
That's where the D line, Al Washington, has to go out there and make it this year. He has to put his staple on what he's bringing in the 3 years he's been there, because right now you're getting all the attention from Mike Mickens and the award winners and the first rounders. Marty Biaggi joined this backfield. And you got the youth of the young linebackers that everybody's excited about.
Yeah.
And in the D line, you get we have a lot of questions. A lot of guys, Howard Cross, Riley Mills, you got Jordan Botello, you got the young guys, Civiliano, and so you got a lot of guys, but what does the production look like in that room? Is this a room that's a top 10 defensive line room? We have enough guys that will make you think that, but the production has to matter this year.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean, but really, all I'm really more so concerned about is just how that D-line room fares out. Because, again, they don't got to be the guys that, they don't have to be like the catalyst or like the most electric unit. They just have to do their job. Because we got guys in the back end that can cover. We got linebackers that can run. We got, as long as we're disrupting the play in some way, shape, or form, I think we will be fine.
Yeah.
And again, those young guys are just going to continue to get experience. Just the more plays they play, they're going to get more experience, and they're going to learn how to make those big plays. In turn, probably that pressure on the quarterback into a sack or a sack force fumble. You only get better at doing stuff like that when you do it.
But do we have Isaiah Fowski, or do we have a bona fide? I know we love RJ, we love what he can bring. But do we have that single guy that on the D-line where offensive lines are like, we have to double team him or he's going to ruin the whole day for us?
Riley Mills. And then, again, for on the edge, I think Jordan Botello is very, very underrated. He's very, very
underrated or underproductive?
Whoa.
I believe he's got all the talent in the world. That's what I'm saying.
But think about it though. He was sharing the field with Foskey. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same. Like, you know, when you're trying to contribute, you don't have to get 50. We don't need no Stephon Tuitt where you got to get 15 sacks or nothing like that. We just have a unit. Create a unit.
Okay.
I think if we get the appropriate amount of production from the unit, I think our defensive line will be fine. I don't think we got to have someone that, you know, that's just sack master that we count on third downs. That we're looking at that guy to get the sack. No, you want it to come from all four positions. You don't want it to be just that one guy, because then how can the offensive line solve that? They're just going to slide it to that. They're going to make sure they're spotlighting that guy. You know what I'm saying? When it's a whole unit doing the job and collapsing the pocket together, then it's plenty of production for everybody to go around.
Going back to that, if we all eat, we eat together.
Yeah.
Right. From earlier in the conversation. So, like, I'm excited, man. Like we've got pieces to fill spots where in years past it's always been, oh, if we just had this guy.
We just had this guy.
We just had this guy. Or we just had this guy. We got guys.
We got all the guys.
We got all the guys. So
on both sides of the ball.
On both sides of the ball. And we got a kicker. The kicker not bad either.
Yeah, right? This is the Australian guy, right? Where's he from? Australia, New Zealand, or something like that?
Yeah, he's one of the countries down under.
We're not going to the kicker thing. Let's keep it moving.
Come on, man. Craig Henry was nice, bro.
3 days of the game.
Henry was nice. Reggie.
Henry was nice, but hey, Henry would hit you too.
Facts.
Yeah.
Henry would run down, hit you.
Facts.
I might, the new punter, I'm thinking, you know, he's a big guy. Maybe he played rugby, so Australia, so he'll probably hit you too. So it's not that I'm against him. I'm just saying, you know, can we do something with that this year? We don't necessarily need to talk about the kickers.
Well, one thing we will find out more is through having this docu-series. So last time we had a docu-series was what, 2014, 2015, captured the ins and outs of the Notre Dame program. We get a chance to have that again. Did you guys get a chance to see the preview or the trailer? It looked kind of dope.
Yeah, it looks again. I like those because, like I said, I was a big fan of the Netflix quarterback one and the receiver one, because it gives people a perspective of just how physical this game is.
Yeah,
and what these young men go through.
Yeah, on
a consistent basis, and the pain, and what because again, I remember playing the league. I remember having to prop up parts of my body in bed so I could sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah, because like I said, body was just, and people don't get that. They just see, and again, with at least, and also in college, it's not just these guys going to practice and to perform, playing the games. They got to go to class.
That class, man.
And you got to lock in mentally, because that's where a lot of the they're under pressure constantly, because you got to go compete in the classroom and then you got to go compete on the field. And I'm not talking about just like, oh, just show up. You got to know what the heck you're doing, because they're going to call on you. They're going to check you because you're the athlete there. And again, it requires a level of mental toughness that not too many people can properly grasp unless you've gone through it.
Right. And to catch that process, the only thing I don't like about it is they got the episodes spaced out. Mm-hmm. It's like they'll show one like end of November. So I'm like, dang, I want to get a chance to see all of it. But how much of a distraction, if any, do you think it's a distraction, or do you think it's a good thing for this program to have such cameras all in your space?
I'm not a fan of cameras being all in your space, because again, like I said, when you think about, I think about media, it's rather invasive, but I also think it's a positive from the standpoint of you get the athletes get to tell their story, which is not something that is commonly known beyond just the game that they play, and to see that these are human beings,
right?
These are human beings, and they're performing a task are multiple tasks at a high level, and the mental toughness, the physical toughness that's required to do that on a daily basis. Because I've always said, student athletes, like I said, companies, they want them because they know how to work within a team concept. They know how to adapt, and they understand the importance of being consistent and doing the little things the right way. Because you make one mistake, boom, you're giving up a touchdown. You make one mistake, the ball's on the ground. You a hold or a busted assignment. So you have to be able to lock in for an extended period of time.
Do you see any of? But do you see any of these games being the way we're constructed right now, being close, or do you think these are dominant wins? Because I believe it's about how we win this year. Yes, we believe we can beat all these teams, but we need to show that we're beating teams at a rate where it's like it's not about them. It's we're that.
I will say this. Like I said, I look at the next 3 games after Texas A&M. Those shouldn't be close, but this goes back to, like I said, are they in that mental frame of mind that we're expecting our twos to be in the game come the end of the third quarter? So, like we should be up enough to where the backups are getting ample time.
Right.
And again, Louisville is not going to be a cakewalk.
No.
So, but you have Texas A&M. That's going to be a Louisville, and the next one really is Florida State.
I mean, is it the way Florida State look? I feel like we can get that out of here by first half.
They're not going to play like that the rest of the year, bro.
Right, but I'm just talking about in terms of the there's really 4 games that should be challenging, and that's A&M, Louisville, Florida State, and USC.
Yep.
But
I agree with that.
In terms of like how they're viewed, how teams are viewed. Yeah. But after watching, this game, hey, we gonna see if Georgia Tech is Georgia Tech,
right?
Or if who we gonna have. So right. It really comes down to can they lock in week to week?
Yeah.
Because you're talking about how we win is going to be important. I agree with you, but how well do we how quickly do we put Northern Illinois away? How quickly do we put a Purdue and a Miami of Ohio away? Because the propensity has been to let those teams
hang around and then
play down to
17.
Yeah. And that comes back to, are they locked in? Focus, everything is A&M.
Yeah.
Then you have to shift gears, and everything has to be Northern Illinois, not we get to play Northern Illinois. No, it has to be understand that you're playing Northern Illinois. They give out scholarships too.
Right.
But you got to go in there thinking, I'm gonna let you know from the word go, it's not gonna go well for you.
Right.
Because I think Florida State is a better team than Georgia Tech. But what did Florida State started off boom, 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 but they let them hang around. We cannot let teams hang around that we know we should be more dominant than. Yeah. It should be, hey, but that's done by locking in mentally and being focused to say, this is the game plan. I'm going to make sure you have no chance.
No chance. Yeah.
You make sure they have no chance, and that starts from the word go. We're going to punch you in the mouth right out the gate, and we're going to keep punching in the mouth, and you're going to know, I don't want this.
Right.
I don't want this.
And and Malik,
you make him want to quit.
And using that thought process, Reggie, answering your question, Malik, about the docu-series, I think there's a couple of things that are on the positive side for us. One, when you're exposed like that, you're not trying to go out there and get mollywopped. You know what I'm saying? Like people have seen you. People have watched what you're doing. People have seen your preparation. You've gotten on camera. You've talked about your process and what your expectation is and what your standards are. That's holding you to a different level.
You can go out there and lay an egg,
right? And the other side of that is for a Notre Dame athlete, like we're not typically a pomps and circumstance kind of program, right? To be able to have that type of exposure for our athletes, that's also great for recruiting, right? If we're playing a long game, if we're playing chess, not checkers, we're saying, hey, look, not only do we have the NBC contract, not only do we have, the best looking coach in college football, because all the ladies love them some Freeman, but we also have exposure for our athletes. Like we're going to show you what our process is, and then to Reggie's point on Saturday, we're going to line them up, and as Coach said, we're going to butt you in the mouth and knock you in the dirt from the time you get off the bus till it's time for you to go back.
And that's the idea that Marcus Freeman is punching you in the mouth, being physical. It's coming from his linebacker days, I'm sure. And 100%. Offensively, Reggie said it, we have to be physically offensively physical as well. Our receivers got to be a dominant force from the outside. If we're going to be blocking and doing this and that, the physicality has to be present, because if that's present, then we can start dominating teams and not having this whole, why are we 10 points away from Northern Illinois? Why are we not smoking these teams? Because on paper, I'm taking us over 98% of college football right now.
For sure.
So the expectation is, for me, with the transfer and everything.
Who's the 2%?
Well, the teams that get like 25 stars in a class, like that, stuff like that. It's not. But you got to think too is that this is a championship or bust team for me. Not winning the championship, not being in the game at the end of the year is a disappointment because of a couple of things. There's not too many programs that are in year 3 of their head coach. Being that we're already a top 10 prestigious program, we're ahead of the USC's, the Alabamas now, the Texas A&M's. These guys are getting going. Now, you got Georgia, Clemson, and Texas. That's Johnny-come-lately team right there. Other than that, how many teams can you say have more years with their head coach that have developed the way we have, like Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame? You can say Oregon is there, but these are also teams that are in the college playoff.
Yeah.
These aren't teams that just popped up. These are teams that with coaches that have put years in the program. Hell, Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan 10 plus years.
Yeah.
It had to cheat to get a championship. He cheated and then he left. But, still.
You know how them skunk bears are, man. Them skunk bears be cheating, man.
They be cheating. But the years that he's been spending the program adds up. You can get away because you know how things work. You've been there for so long. So I think
and don't forget about my boy at Penn State, James Franklin.
Oh man,
look, I'm gonna tell you something. Say what you want. Say what you want, Leak. I'm telling you right now.
What has Penn State ever done with James Franklin?
That dude can coach. The dude can coach.
He can coach.
Right? And I can tell you this. They might be in a situation like we were in years past where they're missing some pieces here and there. But I'm going to tell you this. When they come to Notre Dame, and again, like you said at the very beginning, we're Notre Dame. We're always going to get everybody's best.
That's fair.
Always. And Sean says he can't evaluate QBs. No, he can't recruit QBs, bro. He can't get none. But he can get receivers. He can get linebackers. He can get D linemen.
He can't get a quarterback. He get running back. Y'all got the Gatorade Player of the Year and all this stuff for running back. You got good running back.
Can't get a quarterback. Can't get one.
I don't know he just falls short every time in that department. And maybe that's just the Big Ten. It's a quarterback's game.
Yeah.
Michigan just happened to have a guy who only lost 3 games since high school. So, what do you do with that? So some of that is quarterback driven. But overall, I just really believe that with what we're bringing to the table, we shouldn't worry about a Texas A&M in year 1.
Yeah.
My uncle has a lot on his plate outside of just playing Notre Dame game 1. It only helps that they are at home. If they came to Notre Dame, we wouldn't even be talking about the game. We'd be like, we smacking them up and down the field. We're only giving them credit because they have a great home environment.
Yeah, that 12 man is no joke, bro.
It's no joke.
again, we got to be again their defense is going to be right, so that's going to be the key. And somebody said, as I said, if Notre Dame scores 20, 24, 20 plus points, they should be in good shape.
Right. Which I don't see that being a problem. I don't
know.
I don't know the stats, man, but I don't know that Denbrock has had an offense that scored less than 28 points.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I that's why I say with where we're getting them, because I think this is going to be one of, Notre Dame gets through this one. This will be one of those marquee wins for the program for this year.
Yep.
Where A&M will be.
Yeah.
So this like I said, you get this one. It definitely helps you from a confidence standpoint, but also, hey, as the season goes forward, A&M is going to, because they have talent, and Elko knows how to put together a defense.
Yeah, Elko's no joke, bro.
So, but Riley Leonard has seen this Elko defense in practice. He's seen it in real time. He kind of knows how it works a little bit. That should be our advantage. My concern with Riley Leonard is two things: health and how he starts.
Yeah.
You're not going to give him the full slate of tools and freedoms to check plays and all this stuff. You barely know the guy. So
my thing is with him is, again, don't go out and try to win the game. And this is where
who he is as a player. That's who he is as a player. He had to do it for Duke.
He's a competitor for sure.
He's going. If there's 4th and 1,
there's a difference between being a competitor and going out to try to win the game. When you allow your teammates to, hey, I'm going to put you in the best position to win.
Right.
That's not going out winning the game. It's as a quarterback. I don't know why all of a sudden game managers become a bad thing. Like the GOAT is the consummate game manager. Tom Brady was a game manager, but he was supremely accurate. He put the ball where it's supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
But he wasn't going to run away from anybody, and he wasn't going to escape the pocket. He knew his pocket presence was immaculate because he'd step up.
Right.
But he would I'm going to give the ball to the people that can run.
Right.
And make plays. And I'm going to give it to them where I'm going to put it on that back shoulder so they know I'm going to throw them away from, a big hit.
So
I'm going to put it right there.
Yeah, you just brought trust. You just brought trust factor into it.
Yeah,
you brought trust factor into it.
And that's my thing. Will they trust him enough?
Right.
Has he garnered enough trust from the receivers and the backs with where I don't know.
He gained enough trust to be a captain. So I mean that means a lot. So his character is probably on point, or has the guys believing him in some sense, but. Football is awesome because you got to go prove it. Football, you got to go prove it. It's like regardless of how we feel about you got to go win.
But that's what I said. But if you go in there with the mindset, I got to win this game.
Yeah,
you're putting too much pressure.
Think about it. He has always had I think it's harder to go from always having that you got to do it all to literally the exact opposite, where we just need you to do less. Less is more. Right?
Do your job. Just do your job.
Just do your job. Because listen, we got all the guys that can run and catch and do everything.
Right.
But Riley's whole game is based on Riley doing everything. So how does he take less in his own mind? Like, instead of just running for 15, let me just throw it for 3 and he'll get the 15.
Right.
That comes back to him. The trust factor works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
They have to learn to trust him.
Yeah, he better trust talent. What?
He has to learn.
He ain't never had talent like this ever.
It doesn't matter whether he had it or not. Trust is not about the talent. Trust is about, I know you're going to be where you're supposed to be. I know you're going to be doing what you're supposed to be doing at a given moment. Mm-hmm. And that comes with seeing it, practicing it, and experiencing it. It doesn't, you can say you have trust, but it'll show in how you perform. And that goes back to what we were saying about that team mentality. A great team, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, requires a trust not to me, I got to make a play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trust to say, we have to make this play right now.
Right. Yeah.
And by making a play, I have to do my job.
Right. And to
that point, who's the offensive line at its best?
To that point, Reggie, not to cut you off, bro, I'm going to tell you this. That falls squarely on, again, in my opinion, one of the best offensive coordinators in the game.
Yeah.
He is communicating. Like you've been in the quarterback room, you know, he's communicating that with Riley, with the quarterbacks, right? Freeman is communicating that to the program. I don't need you guys to go out and win the game. I need you guys to go out and do what we're coaching you to do, fly around, make plays, be physical, love your teammates, and let's get out of here with a win. I mean, I feel like if those things are being communicated to these players, and they do have that level of trust that we're talking about, all bets are off, man. Because when you got great coaches understand it's beyond just the X's and O's, it's the Jimmys and Joes. And when you talk about Jimmys and Joes, you're talking about what's between the ears too. I gotta believe that Coach Freeman is acutely aware, and his staff, that they're acutely aware of the fact that they've got all these pieces. I think they're acutely aware of the fact that they have tremendous opportunity. And I also think that they're not going to throw caution into the wind and just assume that they get it. You got to speak to that. You have to speak to that, because just assuming they're going to get it is extremely reckless. And there's nothing about Coach Freeman and what he's done to this point that says that he's a reckless-minded coach, assuming that these players are just going to get it somehow. Like that's got to be something that you're consistently pouring into the players. Like, we all came from different places, man. Leak, you from Ohio, Reggie, you from Oklahoma, I'm from Florida. You know, we had guys coming. Bill Matulas came from Canada. Like, we had guys coming from everywhere. And when we came together with as one group with one goal in mind. And that part, like holding that string, pulling that string of accountability, falls directly on the coaching staff. And I don't think we're going to have a problem with that.
And that's what I like about this coaching staff, because, you know, they actually talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, like Denbrock was saying, how telling, you know, they get together outside of games to talk about, wow, when you guys did this, you gave us that look defensively, that causes some problems. And then vice versa, you know, Denbrock is saying that about the defense. And then Golden is saying, man, when you guys run this play or run this formation, you know, this is what we're seeing. So
it's self-scout, man. It's self-scout.
Exactly. So you're making each other better. And again, and this is being communicated throughout the defense and offensive coaching staffs. And I agree with you, that when you add that aspect of it, when the coaches understand and know and are locked in on the little things. So like how the front end impacts the back end on the defensive side of the ball. Well, if the offense knows this, they can say, hey, you know, if we see this in practice, hey, we know how to combat it.
Right.
And you prepare
and communicate that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like coaches, no, we've all coached. There's stuff you want to call, there's stuff you want to run, but there's still value in that dude who's in the game and his ability to communicate with you what he sees based on his knowledge of the game plan. Say, hey, coach, I know we want to run this, but hey, I like that X5 on the backside of the 3x1.
That's all it takes. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like those things, those are those intangibles that are also a part of that trust factor, that the coach is saying, okay, I trust this dude. He knows the game plan. He has a high football acumen. If he's telling me he can beat this guy on a skinny, or we can run a fly or die on the backside, and he's going to melt that thing to the sideline, that corner stays on top, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just in-game adjustments, man. So I think with our coaches and their skill level and their abilities just to break down offenses and defenses, and the God-given physical talent that we have, we're going to be a problem, man. We're going to be a whole problem. And I would be extremely shocked and probably more disappointed if we weren't.
And I think that's the key. I think the fan base is at a different place with how we feel about Notre Dame taking this new challenge of we don't have to be perfect anymore of going 12-0 to get to the playoffs.
Right.
We'll get into the playoffs. Now it's a refresh. How do we get ready for this new season? The depth we have, I think we're built for it. Mm-hmm. We're built to go 15 games.
Yep.
That's losing a starter or two here or there. Things happen in the season. But Marcus Freeman's walking around a lot lighter on his feet than he was in years before.
Yeah.
Because I think he knows something that we feel good about but don't quite know, that this is going to be a bad team, a tough team to handle down the stretch.
Yes, sir.
Well, just from your point about the like I said, with the receivers and just clipping off, like I said, the stats of guys that are coming in, I thought the portal was going to be the death of us because we just, because Notre Dame is not easy to, you have to be admitted. That's part of, like I said, the process of getting into Notre Dame. You have to be admissible to the university. People have kind of forgotten about that. These are institutions of higher learning.
Right.
Well, what they've done through the portal, and and then the pieces they have with, the guys that they're recruiting out of high school, you see and that's the other key. That I see development in the different positions. You see coaches, you see guys developing their athletes. Because again, it's easy. Now you can go just grab this one and grab that one from.
Yeah, you can grab anybody. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and plug them. But there's something to be said about. And again, I'm not against Riley Leonard, but I look at Carr.
Yeah.
When it's something to be said for are we developing the guys that we're getting? Because
CJ's coming ready-made now.
Right. But again, there's still a level of development that he's going to have to, in progression, being at this level, and that goes with any position. I look at Ben Morrison. I've seen his growth. Xavier Watts. Botello. We have guys that are the majority of our guys are kind of homemade, if you will. They're homegrown. Mm-hmm. So they've been there. You don't have a lot of the turnover that you're getting with other programs. That makes a difference. Because again, like I said, year 3, the majority of these guys in year 3 are their guys.
Yeah, Freeman can't be like, oh, this ain't on my team yet.
Right.
He even held Jalen Sneed back last year.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, I don't want you to be attached to that for real. Let them have that. This year, you got to fly around, be my guy. And you surround them with the young Drake Bowens and the Osberries and the Kingstons and the Tula Makos, all that. You're getting something where you're getting guys that don't necessarily have bad habits. They just going to fly around. Yeah. The linebackers are going to be the excitement of that unit because it's like they're going to be going 100 miles per hour, maybe the wrong way. But when they do go 100 miles per hour the right way, you're gonna see big plays.
It's gonna be some good's gonna happen. That's why I go back. I know you were on the D line about getting sacks. That's my thing with the D line. Is like JARRON was spot on. We just need that unit to be effective and efficient.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, like if we're affecting the quarterback by knocking him off the spot, pressing the pocket, forcing him, into discomfort, that linebacking core and that DB group, that back end
gonna be locking stuff down now.
Locking it down. And picking it off. That's my thing about Xavier Watts. Is like he getting that thing.
He's a hawk, bro.
Like, hey, I'm gonna go up this ball.
And Marcus Freeman needs to put that on the recruiting leaderboard. He's got a guy, Xavier Watts, who was a receiver coming in. Mm-hmm. Developed him to defense, got him in the right spot, knows how to recognize his players' strength and talents. Now you get a defensive player of the year from a two-way guy.
Yep, 100%.
That's why we see all these recruits. That's why all these guys now are two-way guys now. All the recruits are two-way guys.
Yeah.
Because that's just the trend.
We were. Reggie played corner.
I played corner. I said
Reggie played corner, bro. Look, Reggie came in as a running back. My sophomore year, this dude playing corner.
You backpedaling by your second year.
Hey, yeah. It was like, hey, whatever you got to do to get on the field.
Hey, I'm trying to get on the field. Hey,
I'm
no
trying to
lie.
get on
That's
the field,
the truth.
baby. I want you to, and you go out there and make plays. But that's spot on. Like I said, if I wasn't seeing guys being developed, I was like, he's not the guy.
He's not the guy.
But I've seen the development in the players, and you look at the guys. Yeah, you bring in because I'm not a big fan of, like I said, that bringing in the hired gun at quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not a hired gun guy. I don't know if that works unless you put time in. I don't know.
But again, I could see, but I'm seeing development in the younger guys coming up.
Yeah, that's why I was CJ, the potential Deuce Knight guy. We're getting, and then you got Kenny Minchie. We're good for the future.
Look at man, Deuce Knight is special.
That's the key. You got guys that are, because that's what Dr. recruits looking at is like, okay, well, like Xavier Wise, he moved to DB, but what if they had come out of Notre Dame at that safety position?
Mm-hmm.
The last guy was pretty darn good.
Last guy was pretty good.
Pretty good.
He's all right.
He's all right.
Well,
that's my thing is like, and people were like getting all up in arms about, well, we lost this receiver recruit, that receiver recruit, but I'm looking at the guys that we got through the transfer. I'm like,
we can hang.
They got production.
We can hang. That's what I'm saying.
That's a proven commodity.
Look at the program and be like, he didn't cover this. He didn't cover this part. We have covered from inch to inch everything of the weaknesses of what this program had last year. So it almost puts Marcus Freeman at an expectation of, perfect or nothing. I know that's unrealistic, but that's how we shaped the team so far.
But I feel like that's his thought process. I think he went into this offseason with a plan, knowing specifically where his weaknesses were and what his coaches were looking for. Doing again that self-scout that we were talking about, right? You're looking at your defense, you're looking at your offense, your special teams. We got a Australia Rouge guy kicker. I know Reggie don't want to talk about kickers, but like we addressed a lot of things.
I'm just glad he's doing his job.
A lot of things in one off season. This is stuff that takes some time because you got
off season. In one off season,
man is on fire.
Yes,
this guy from recruiting front, he is beyond dynamic.
He is
beyond dynamic.
And then he's doing commercials and little movie ads and all. He's the full package.
Yo, those are hot. I gotta give his props. I was like,
that brother didn't know he had to act. He had to act to be the head coach.
And the thing about, and he's so responsive.
Yeah, man.
Like again, for me, if I shoot you a text, I'm not expecting you to hit me back.
He hit you back.
Yeah. He hit you back, and again, and it's the level of respect. Now, I tend to forget he's that young.
Yeah.
He's still young, so it's almost like he's gonna be like, yes, sir.
He's a pup. He's a pup,
right?
Because
when he says it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
I forgot.
I have to pause a minute and then reflect. Like, oh yeah, that's a good point. He's this man ain't hit 40 yet. That's crazy.
Right.
Super proud of him. So
yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for everything he's done and doing, and for what he's putting together. It's not easy to build a football program at any level, and he's done it with grace. He's done it the Notre Dame way, and he's done it with a flair that doesn't undermine the university in such a way that everybody embraces him. If you're a Notre Dame person, you embrace Marcus Freeman and what he's about and what he brings to the table. So I couldn't be prouder of our head coach, man. I want nothing but success for this guy. He's doing a phenomenal job. So all that's left now, man, is just to line them up and let them fly.
Line them up.
I got to mention this because, again, I've been around his family. That's just how he was built that way.
Yeah, from Dayton. That's why.
Okay.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Always got to make an Ohio thing.
Hey, you know how the Ohio people are, man.
Yeah.
You know, I married one of them.
Always got to go there. Always got to go there.
It's Ohio against everybody. You know how
they against the world. Like really?
What they say, it's the cradle of coaches, man. That's just how we get down over there. You know, you just grow them up, raise them up. You know how we go.
But I said it's also his family. I said, have the pleasure of being his wife, his kids.
You got 6 kids too. I mean, this doing it now. This ain't easy.
And hey, his wife is sharp. That woman has
got to be on point. Yeah, hell yeah.
And she's fiercely protective of her husband as she should be. Bro, you got a real one. I said you got a real one, and I think has just as much of an impact on his success as the family and his mom. Dude, I mean, like this dude, his peeps is like
tight, man, tight,
boom,
tight.
Like he's on point.
Yeah,
that's right.
100%.
And that's what we need, as a transition from Brian Kelly, who's winningest coach of all time in Notre Dame. That's a great accomplishment to have the transition to get to Marcus Freeman, the next coach. Usually you get a couple misses before you get to that. But to not miss and be hitting the road running and how we've gone about these 3 years after Brian Kelly, it's something that you have to think that the administration did a great job with.
You got it right, man.
You got it right.
I agree with you on this point, Malik. This is the year. I mean, you look at the schedule.
This is the year. Like Jack Swarbrick, shout out to Jack Swarbrick. He knew that if it all came together the right way, year 3 you should win a championship.
Yeah, 100%.
That was his party.
That's kind of been it's the de facto year because you go back to Era, Parsegian, Lou Holtz. Like I said, last 2 champions. That 3rd year was kind of
it's the year. It's the do it or don't do it.
So
the way players play all day, every day.